are. Another episode. Welcome back to Pizza Bagels, everybody.
Bagels.
You know, it's so hard for me to not sing along every time that we do that.
100%. That song gets me so fucking hyped up.
Me too.
I love it.
It's so good.
So, dude, I had the coolest thing happen ever yesterday.
Okay, I'm ready.
You know Jacob Farrell?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So
Baby Jake.
Baby Jake and I are bar friends. I've only seen him one time outside of the Richland, and it was at Mars Bar. But we drink beer and hang out and bullshit, and I was at the bar yesterday and bumped into Jacob, and we were just sitting there bullshitting, having a drink, and out of nowhere, we're not like friends on social media or anything, but out of nowhere, he was like, oh, by the way, Pizza Bagels is fucking awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. And it's like for the first time to hear somebody say that like isn't in my tight-knit group,
Yeah.
that I'm like, you didn't see this because I reposted it. Like,
Yeah.
It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's sick, dude.
Yeah, dude, first time. So that was a pretty awesome.
We have a big fan.
I know, right?
Sweet.
Shout out to Jacob.
It's already happening.
Getting fucking famous. Cheers, kid.
All right, Baby Jake. All right, cheers, bub. Yeah, man, that rules. We're starting to get there.
Hell yeah.
Checking up on our listens and followers, and you know everybody that is actually following on our Spotify and
Yeah.
all the other bullshit. Thank you very much. This
Yeah,
means
we
a lot.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Just two kids living their fucking dream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, it's a nice little hangout.
Love it.
And just talk shop.
Yeah, I love it. Look forward to it every week. And I love that we're doing it today on a Saturday. Is it Saturday today?
Yeah, today's Saturday.
Still Saturday?
Yeah.
Been a long
Yeah, we
day.
got an early episode this week.
Yeah, so I feel like I just saw you, but it's so nice to see you again.
As always.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what's funny is that when I was editing the last episode, and I was kind of listening through, and I know that there is still a slight echoing issue, which a few of our friends have pointed out, and I apologize. I'm trying to fix that. But I do think that with Coley and I sharing a mic, it kind of still was kind of happening.
Definitely.
But, you know, what's funny is that as I was listening to everything, you know, there was a point when I mentioned, well, I was asking you if you guys had any sort of like embarrassing story that you like didn't own up to. It's been like about a week. Like, has anything occurred up to it at that point?
Interesting, and I know it sounds like a douchey answer, and I really did spend some time thinking about it, but I really couldn't come up with much because I'm one of those people, especially like the way that I work. When I work, I own everything. Mm-hmm. I'm just that guy. I'm categorized as an island worker, which means that I don't want anybody to help me, and it's because I want all the credit. And
yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
But the other side of it for island workers is that when they fuck things up, they own the shit out of it. Like, I'll do it by myself, and if it's bad, I'll own the shit.
I mean, I do that plenty as well.
Yeah, so I tried to think about it. What do you got?
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, I know it was like kind of like a random ass question back there.
Yeah.
And since nobody was able to answer, I thought I'd maybe give it another shot this week.
Mm-hmm.
For me, and again, I am always the one that owns up to whatever.
Yeah.
And this is probably about like 10 years ago, maybe more. But there was a whole gang of us down at the 5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
I was just there yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we were planning on going there last night because it was ska night, but we were trying to keep it chill because we had to wake up early to smoke that butt today. So yeah, there was a whole gang of us at the 5 o'clock, and we're all standing at the end of the bar that's like right by the front entrance.
Uh-huh.
And I have no idea what I ate. And of course, we're going to circle right back down to farts. I feel like that's just my whole thing.
I had a feeling that's where this was going to go.
It's just farts. So we're all standing there bullshitting, and I let this fart out, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is god awful. Like, so terrible where someone's like, what the fuck is that smell?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, God, it smells like shit. And I'm like, yeah, that does smell like shit. And literally everybody, and I'm not joking, I'm not exaggerating, literally everybody on that side of the bar moved over to where the shuffleboard table is. And we're like, God damn, what the fuck is that? What is that? So then as we're standing there, I feel my belly. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
Here's another
Bubble
one.
guts.
I rip another fart. And then someone's like, what the fuck? Now it's here. Like, which one of you guys fucking farted? And I'm just dying laughing. I'm like, yeah, like, who the fuck did that, you pussy?
Yeah.
Like,
own it.
Yeah, you fucking tell us if you fucking did it. It's just me dying inside, like, trying not to laugh. And this basically kind of goes back and forth a couple of times. And I'm pretty sure that Gare figured out that it was me.
Oh, I'm sure.
But I don't think I ever said it out loud that it was me. So,
speaking of Garrison, you want to hear a funny story?
Always.
So I crashed with a buddy of mine last night because we got a little too fucked up and I didn't want to drive home. So we were just like smoking a bowl and we were watching The Big Lebowski, my favorite movie of all
Nice.
time. And so I crashed at his place and I slept terribly because I always sleep terribly. And I woke up on his couch at like 4:45 this morning.
At your
like,
buddies or Garrett's?
At my buddies.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, I'm just gonna go. Like, I'm just gonna go home. This way I can crash in my own bed, get a couple more hours of sleep. So I drive home. I pull into my driveway at 5:26 in the morning, and I pull out my phone because it's in my pocket, and I'm just pulling it out like naturally to have it in my hand when I'm bringing it inside, and it's on silent, and I see I have an incoming call from Garrison at 5:26 this morning.
Interesting. We did see him last night. We popped up for like just like one or two, and it was about 11:30 last night we saw him, but we left and. But go on, I'm ready.
So if you saw Garrison was calling you at 5:30 in the morning, what's your first thought?
He's in jail.
He's in fucking jail. Right?
Yeah.
100%. And I'm thinking, I'm like, man, I'm sober enough, and I'm a little flush on cash, and I'm thinking like, okay, I have bail money. This isn't going to be a problem. That was not it. He was getting ready to go to Sidetracks and wanted to know if I wanted to go.
Did he even go to bed yet?
Probably not.
Did you actually talk? Did you pick up the phone?
Oh, I did.
Okay. I mean, I guess obviously you know.
I figured he was in jail. And
Yeah,
I figured
yeah.
that's the only possible reason you would call me at 5:26. And I hear this giggling in the background, and it's Jenny, and it's the two of them like, hey, we're going for last Sidetracks ever. Are you in? And I go, it's fucking 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, strangely, I'm in my car, and if you had called me 20 minutes earlier, I would have been in.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
But any other time,
I'm already in my driveway now.
I would have punched you in the fucking face for calling me at 5:30 in the morning to ask me if I want to get drunk. I'm just not that guy anymore. That's like, I'm ready first. Like, first of all, 5:30 is not first thing in the morning. That is middle of the night shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and what's very interesting is I'm wondering if he even went to bed.
No way.
No, because if he would have went to bed, he wouldn't have been up. There's no way he would have
he
made
went to
it.
bed.
Because I think we left them at about midnight. And I feel like they were leaving at the same time. It was him and Aaron. So they were either going to be going to somewhere else or they were going to go home, which I imagine would just be more hanging out and drinking.
Right. That, I'm sure, is what happened.
Yeah. Or they could have met Jenny somewhere and they just stayed up all night. So,
Either way, I was just like, what kind of balls do you have to call somebody at 5:30 in the morning? Like, I have a pretty grown-up job.
yeah.
Like, you can't call me at 5:30 in the morning to get fucking hammered. Like, what if I was sleeping and that shit woke me up? I would have been furious. But I'm like, interesting. He's like, I can't believe you picked up the phone. And I'm like, I can't believe you're fucking calling me at 5:26. And he's like, do you want to go get drunk? And I'm like, now. And he's like, yeah, you're out of your fucking mind. I mean, what a soldier. I can't fucking do it, but good on him.
I mean, I've done
I've done
plenty
it.
of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd have to do it the way he did. I would never like wake up at 5:30.
No,
and go
you
to the
have to
bar.
be
It
up
would
all
be-
night.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We used
And-
to do that. We used to go to Bobbio's.
Oh,
A
my
buddy
gosh.
of mine.
Yes.
His uncle was like one of the opening bartenders there. So we would get there 20 minutes before they open, and he would give us free beers for like putting the chairs down and like getting the bar set up. For
Yeah.
him. And we would drink at 5:30 in the morning. But usually that's because we'd stayed up all night like doing coke, and then it was like, well,
Right.
fuck it, it's 5:30. You want to go get breakfast and drink beer? And it's like, yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, no. Listen, like when Jess and I first started dating, I was still bartending at the time, so I had like odd days off, and she also worked a job where like her weekends would switch every week. So like one weekend she'd get like, you know, Saturday and Sunday off, and then like the following week she would get like Wednesday and Thursday. So like Tuesday's like her Friday.
Sure.
But there's been like when we first started dating, there was a lot of nights that either we'd be at the bars, hang out at her house or mine until 5:30, and then we'd go to Bobbio's, and then of course it's like, you know, you're hanging out there and you're like, all right, let's go have a cigarette. And it's like now 9 a.m. and
Yeah.
it's like bright as fuck. You're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? It's
Then
so
you're that
bright out
person.
here.
You're that fucking turd that's standing like on Detroit, blocking out the sun at 8:00 in the morning while people are going to work. Like, look at this drunk piece of shit.
Yeah, there's fucking people jogging by.
Yeah.
We're like, what do you think you're fucking better than us?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck off.
Yeah, and but or otherwise there's nights that like I would work till close, and then I'd fucking come over and meet her at whatever party she was at
Sure.
or whatever, and we'd hang out and drink till 5:30, and then we'd go to Bobbio's.
Yeah, people always, it's so funny that people think when people work at night, like service industry people, and they're like, oh, you got done with work at 2 and you don't have to be back until 11 o'clock in the morning the next day, like that's 9 hours. You have plenty of time to sleep and
It's not
eat
how that
and
industry
shower.
works.
First of all, it's not how any industry works. I mean, does anybody get off work and just go home and go to bed?
No. I mean,
No.
you're also not leaving at 2:00.
Right.
You have
Absolutely
to. The bar's got to. You till
bar's
2:30,
2:30.
and then there's any sort of closing the drawer
Right.
and cleaning, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep. So
I
you're there
mean,
till 3:30.
yeah. I mean, there's been times that I didn't fucking leave till closing until at least 4:00.
Yeah.
And then I would go home and I would have a beer and a couple of smokes just to fucking chill out.
Because you have to. You need to unwind a little bit.
Yeah, you can't just like go right to bed.
No,
It doesn't work that
who the
way.
fuck does that?
But
Especially
thankfully, I'd have to work like close open, which
Yeah.
those suck balls.
They do, but people that call that shift a clopin can go fuck themselves.
I
It's
have
the
heard that before.
stupidest goddamn thing. It sounds like a disease that affects your dick. I hate it. Well,
Oh, no.
I have a clopin. I'm like,
Don't
you should
hang out with
probably have
Dave.
you should have a doctor look at that. Fucking
He's got the
turd.
clopin.
Yeah, he's got a big old clopin on his beanbag. It's gross.
Have you ever been kicked out of a bar?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm
Actually,
anything memorable. I want to hear.
recently, okay, I wasn't exactly kicked out as much as it was advised that I should leave. I think there's a distinction.
Okay,
So I was at the bar, and before anybody has the question, I already talked to my wife about this, so this is okay to talk about. But I was at the bar, The Lear, right behind my house, and I was up there by myself, and I'm drinking, and this chick comes, and she sits on the bar stool next to me, and she's just making like casual conversation, and we're bullshitting, and then she's getting like a little bit flirty with her conversation, and I'm like, hey, I'm enjoying talking to you, but just so you know, and I point at my
throw the
wedding ring.
hand up.
Yep,
Yeah.
and I just show her, and I'm like, I'm married. And she goes, God, motherfuck. And I'm like, what? And she goes, it's so fucking hard to find people out here to date. And she's like, I don't want to do Tinder and that kind of stuff. And she goes, but I just want to get fucked hard and have my hair pulled. And I was like, well, again, married, so this is all I'm good for. And I reach over, she's got like a ponytail, and I grab her ponytail and I just tug it a little bit because I'm trying to diffuse what is an awkward conversation for
Sure.
her, right? Because she's talking to me and striking out. That fucking blows, right? And so I feel bad for her. So I'm like, okay, I'll make light of it. So I like tugged on her ponytail. I'm not like I yanked her hair or anything. It was just like playful, like, I don't want you to be embarrassed. And then I went out and I had a smoke. And I come back in and she's talking to two other dudes and they like physically approach me. Like, hey, did you pull her fucking hair? And I'm like, yeah.
Jeez.
I'm like, it was a joke. Here's what happened. And I'm like trying to explain it. And these two dudes are getting ready to fucking throw down.
Well, yeah, because those fucking jugheads, when they're
yeah,
fucking
absolutely.
when they're that much booze inside of them, they're not listening to anything.
Plus, I'm sure that the version of the story that she told was not exactly the version that happened.
Sure.
You know, I'm sure embellished it and made
Well,
it awful.
How did she react when you did give
She
the
like
egg?
giggled about it.
Yeah.
But then I walked away, and then she was probably like, "Oh, it's so cool to meet you guys that are single meatheads." And I was just talking to this guy, and he's such a fucking asshole.
You
He
could both stuff me like an Oreo.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. He blew me off, pulled my hair, and then went outside. They're like, "We're gonna kick his fucking ass."
Yeah.
But the bartender like intervened, Danny, who's awesome, and he just like jumped over the bar and stood between me and the two guys, and he was like, "Dave, probably best for you to leave." And I was
Okay.
like, 100% agree.
Yeah.
Paying my tab. This is a misunderstanding. Too fucking old to fight. Not doing it. So, yeah, it was just advised that I leave. But yeah, I don't really get thrown out of bars.
I mean, it's been
definitely
a
have.
really long time.
Really long time.
I mean, honestly, I think the last time that I can really think of, and I think I was just still early 20s, and I went out. So my birthday is it's gonna be here in like a week and a half. But my buddies, their brothers, and their birthday, both of them is on the 22nd. They're 3 years apart, and they have the same exact birthday, which is fucking wild to think about. So we went out to the bar like right by their house, and this is when they were living in Ridgeville. Again, this is a long time ago. And we went to this bar, and I was just like, I wasn't feeling beer. I probably drank a shit ton the night before. So when we got asked, I was like, I'm going to do a Long Island.
Smart.
Yeah, and then the two of them are like, I'm also going to do a Long Island. And then next thing you know, we're there for a couple fucking hours, pounding fucking Long Islands. And my one buddy, the younger brother, his girlfriend shows up, and she's like, hey, it's my brother's birthday tonight. Do you guys want to go? And we're already drunk, but like, fuck yeah, let's go. I mean, we love her brother. He's a great dude. So she now takes us to another bar. and we're hanging out drinking, and I just fucking hit a point where I'm basically done.
Yeah.
We were still pounding fucking Long Island's when we got to this bar.
Lights out, but the eyes are open.
Yep. And basically we're on like the back patio smoking, and I'm like weeble wobbling, you know, like can barely stand up. And the bouncer comes and goes, "You need to sit down." And I was like, "No, I'm fine, bro. What are you?" You know, he's like, "Sit down." And I was like, "Okay, fine." So I sit down. He walks back in the bar, and I stand back up. So then I continue on, just like, weeble wobbling. He comes back out, has to fucking tell me again. And I'm like, Jesus fuck. All right, so I'll sit down. He leaves. Of course, I get back up. And then I'm like looking for my buddy. I'm like, "Hey, where's Chino at?" And I'm like looking around. And I was like, maybe he's gone. Or maybe he's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's just in my that mindset.
Sure.
So I start running through the bar. Like physically running to the bar, and I fucking bump into some dude, dumps his beer all over him, and he's like, "What the fuck, bro?" And the first thing I thought of, which is actually a genius fucking excuse,
Oh God.
I turned around and said, "Sorry, it's my birthday."
That is a
It
great
wasn't,
excuse.
but it's so good because
Way
they're
to
gonna
think on
go.
your feet.
They're gonna go. What do you want to do? Like, I've been there on my
Right.
birthday, you know, like.
Yeah. It's
You know-
socially acceptable to be that drunk on your birthday.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
can't be like, "I'm drunk because I'm an idiot,"
Yeah.
or that dude's gonna pound you into a fucking powder.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get fucking cock knockers be like, I'm not gonna, I can't beat his ass. Like, and so I was like, I'll buy you another beer later. And I like went to the bathroom and I couldn't find him. I don't know. So then I went back into the patio, and now it's me and his like older brother. I'm like, "Yo, where's he at?" And of course the fucking bouncer comes back out and he's like, "Sit the fuck down or you're getting kicked the fuck out of here."
Sure.
And I was like, "Dude, I'm fucking fine. Leave me alone." And of course the older brother grabs me like around the shoulders with his Long Island and goes, "Chug." So I fucking start slamming this
Smart.
fucking
What a
Long
good friend.
And then he goes, "You two are fucking out of here," and yanks us both out and fucking throws us out like in the front of the building. We're like, holy fuck, they did leave us. Like his little brother and the girlfriend left us there. And I'm like, fuck. So I had to like call his girlfriend's younger sister to come pick us up. And
I'm sure that was a fun ride.
got
for
us
her.
back. I mean, I don't think she actually cared. And what's funny is like there was a Sheetz gas station like right there. So we're like, "Can you take us to go get some food?"
Yeah, it's the most delicious restaurant in Ohio.
Yeah.
It's amazing what alcohol will do to you culinarily. Like how food is amazing when you're drunk.
Oh yeah. I think I went in there. I was like, "Yeah, let me get like a steak sandwich with like provolone cheese and onions and ranch and whatever." You know, like that sounds amazing when you're hammered, but like when you're eating regular, like, oh, what the fuck is this?
fucking gross.
Yeah.
I'll smash some gas station food though.
Oh yeah, I still love from time
Sheetz
to time.
is not bad.
No,
when
it's
I
not.
lived in Kent, I mean, Sheetz was a staple. We went to Sheetz all the fucking time.
They have great like breakfast burritos and shit. I haven't had anything like lunch or dinner wise, like any sandwiches. I've only had like the breakfast because I've swung in there on my way to work before.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I mean Gecko, same deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll get stuff from Get Go, but like I love when I pull up to the gas pumps there and it has like a picture of like the smoky beef house cheddar.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, who the fuck is the targeting audience and who's ordering? Who's like, you know what? Get Go makes me think of brisket. Like I'd really like a brisket from the gas station.
Yeah.
Like, that's so fucking
It's just-
hardcore, dude.
It's just some disgusting,
It's disgusting.
person.
Yeah, because you know it comes like in a bag. They just like drop it into a pot of water.
Yeah.
And yeah, no thank you.
What about during Thanksgiving? Have you gone to like Gecko during Thanksgiving
And they have the Thanksgiving sandwich.
Yes.
Oh my
It's
God.
like turkey and
House-made
stuffing.
cranberry sauce.
Yes,
Like,
yeah.
Suck a dick. You don't
Fuck
have
up.
house-made cranberry. Yeah, someone's back there just mashing cranberries during their shift, like full of shit.
Yeah. No, I'm like I will never touch any one of those sandwiches.
No.
But you know, breakfast is fine. I think I've actually got like a regular Italian sub from Gecko, which was good.
Yeah,
you know, I don't mind.
functional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Man, I love Thanksgiving. Easily my favorite holiday. I just love to cook, and it's a day that's devoted to eating too much, drinking too much, and watching football. It's the perfect holiday.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean Thanksgiving's cool. I mean, I like the food's always fucking delicious.
Yeah.
We typically go to Ma's house. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's just kind of it, right? Family hangs and
Yeah.
And the
Yeah,
thing
I'm
is, like if it's just like my immediate family, like my stepdad and like the siblings, cool. But when they want to do one that's like with the extended family, I'm like,
That's kind of awful.
Pass.
Yeah.
I just won't go. And I'm like, I will just see you next Sunday and we'll do dinner at your house or whatever. So.
All right. So by the way, when you said that the bouncer like yoked you up to take you out of the bar, that is something that's never happened to me.
Literally grabbed us by our shirts.
Grabbed by, but I also think that's because of my size. I think that, I mean, not that I'm like a formidable opponent, not like I'm gonna beat the fuck out of somebody, but I don't think a bouncer like wants to grab somebody who's 6'2" and enormous and be like, okay, I'm gonna throw you out, because what if I have an objection to that? Like, it's going to be a problem for everyone if I fight back. Like, so I've had bouncers be like, it's time to go, but then that's the end of that. There's no fisticuffs.
And then you're like, okay, I'll
go. And then of course I do the same thing, right? They're like, hey, that's your last drink, buddy. And so I'll just drain it in front of them and give them the finger, like, fuck you, pussy. Like,
while you're chugging it.
Yeah, I'm just like blackout drunk and like, oh yeah, you want to see who's an asshole now? And I'll just chug somebody else's Long Island and then like give the whole bar the finger, tip 30% and leave like an asshole.
Dude, Long Islands are fucking dangerous.
They really are, because they taste great. And people tell me all the time, they're like, wow, you must, because when I'm out, I drink Jameson almost exclusively, and it's because it's cheap, it's sport drinking, it's not bad, it's not good, but everybody fucking drinks Jameson, so I drink Jameson all the time, and people are like, wow, Dave drinks Jameson all the time, he fucking loves Jameson. No, I don't fucking love Jameson. I drink it because it's not that good. Because if it was delicious, I would drink fucking 3 liters of it and die.
Fair enough.
This is why I can't drink things like Jaeger. I think Jaeger's fucking delicious.
Oh, do you really?
Oh my God, I love it. And
interesting.
I used to keep bottles of Jaeger in my freezer and would just fucking, I'd be drinking.
Everybody, just trash billies.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved it. And I would be drinking whiskey. That's all I ever drank. And then when I wanted something to mix it up, I would just go in the freezer and just like do like a 10-second pull off of a bottle of Jägermeister. Just 10 solid seconds of chugging it back.
Holy shit.
Yeah, ice cold. I like the flavor. Like, dude, I would be dead if I kept drinking Jägermeister. And I know people hate it, but I think it's fucking delicious.
Yeah, I've heard horror stories. My buddy, Justin, who I write with, he's told me stories about him and his buddy would fucking do like Jaeger bombs all the time. And like one crazy night, there was a bunch of crazy shit that happened in the bar, and the bartender felt really bad that she actually filled up a pint glass for each of them of Jaeger and then handed them like a Red Bull on the side, just to let them fucking take at their own pace. I'm like, that is fucking disgusting.
Yeah, awful.
Yeah, fuck that.
I had a night where something happened. Like, I was at a bar. This is, by the way, I was like 21 or maybe 22. And I was at this bar, and I lost my wallet while I was there. And then a buddy of mine says, hey, Cone, this dude's got your wallet. And I go, great. Send him over, and I'll buy him a drink since he found it. And then there was some issue with him not giving the wallet back. Like, he wanted money for finding the wallet or something. And my buddy is, like, so pissed about it that he's going to go fight this dude for me, right? So I had just ordered 7 Jaeger bombs for 7 of us. And immediately, yeah, absolutely. And immediately, the bar is empty. Everybody's outside because these 2 idiots are going to fight over my wallet. And so the bartender's like, there's your 7 Jaeger bombs. And I'm like, cool. And I drank 5 of them. Like, back to back to back to back to back. 5 fucking Jaeger bombs. At like 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I was already hammered. I drank 5 Jaeger bombs in like literally 5 minutes.
Oh my God.
It wasn't how drunk I got. It was the fact that I drank like 3.5 cans of fucking Red Bull at 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. And then I went home and I was having like heart palpitations. My heart was beating like a fucking hummingbird. And I was so drunk that if I closed my eyes, the room would spin and I was going to barf.
Oh, yeah.
So I literally had to lay on my side and stare at one spot on the wall while my heart was racing. I was so full of anxiety and blackout drunk. And I had to do that for hours.
Ugh.
It was awful.
Yeah, you basically were fucking Tony Montana, just throwing your whole fucking face in a desk full of Coke.
Yep. Here's your 7 Jaeger bombs. I'm like, who'd you call a pussy? And just drank 5 of them. And she's like, what did you just... You could have just drank 1 and then your friends. I'm like, fuck them. Then they get my wallet back. And I'm like, thank you. I need a ride home now, please.
Also, like, here's 2 Jaeger bombs.
Here's 2 Jaeger bombs for each 6 of you. Yeah. Figure that shit out also. Yeah.
That's hilarious. I know, like, both you and I, it's been a minute, like, bartending, but do you still remember how to make a Long Island?
Yeah. Well, I think that a lot of people have their own interpretation of it. But yeah, I think so. Right? It's vodka, gin, triple sec, whiskey.
No.
No whiskey?
No. It's vodka, gin, tequila, and
Triple sec.
yeah, there's one more booze in there.
I thought it was 4 boozes and then
And the triple sec.
and then it's the Coke for color.
Oh yeah, and some like lime. Actually, now I'm fucking forgetting. I thought I had it on tech.
Yeah, it's sour mix on top of that, and then you do like 2 splashes of Coke on top.
Yeah. Shake it up. Fuck, I forget what the four. I'm pretty sure there's no whiskey.
Dumpster drink. I mean,
it tastes delicious, but it fucks you up.
It fucks you up. It's always bottom shelf, right? I mean, you can order like a top shelf Long Island at places, but then it's like $18.
Yeah, fuck all.
And it's fucking dumb because it's not like you're like, oh my god, you have to check out the tasting notes on this high-end Long Island I got. It's like, no, I want to get fucking blackout drunk for like $7.
Yeah,
that's what a Long Island's. If you order that at a bar, that's what you're telling the bartender. I have no taste. I have no class, and I just want to get hammered or you're really, really cheap.
Or you're 21.
21. Exactly. Yeah.
You know what's really funny is that when I was like 23 or so, my buddy Steve Dave, I think he was still 20 at the time. And we went to the Hairy Buffalo down on the west end of Lakewood because my roommate at the time was trying to pick up girls at Hairy Buffalo.
I saw the nicest pair of tits I've ever seen in my life at that bar. But go on.
Okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
And so we go in there and we're like, you know, the bartender's like, what do you guys want? And I was like, I'm going to do a Long Island. And my roommate's like, yeah, I'll do a Long Island too. And so does my buddy Steve Dave. He's like, I'm going to do a Long Island. And then he's like, he leans over to the bartender and goes, hey, listen, can you also not put that much iced tea in mine? And I like did like the slow, like we see like on like a Family Guy, like the slow big-eyed, like turning over and like looking at him, and I'm like what
your brain
the fuck?
had to control alt delete for a second.
Yeah, and then she looks at him staring, looks back at me, and I was like, good one. And then he looks at me, picks up on, he's like, sorry, it's a stupid joke. I'm not that funny. And then she walks away. I was like, you fucking idiot. I'm like, there's no fucking iced tea in that. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, there's no fucking iced tea in a Long Island. I was like, it just tastes like an iced tea. He's like, well, how the fuck was I supposed to know? I was like, you're going to get your ass kicked out of here.
Yeah.
You're not legal to be in here drinking. Don't act like it, you know?
There was a guy one time when I was at the Richland, and this kid walked in. He must have been 21 or 22, and he asked the bartender for a double Long Island. And the bartender's like, first of all, no.
Yeah.
And second of all, where do you want me to put all of this extra liquor? Like, the largest glass we have is a pint. So it's coming in a pint regardless.
You're going to have a splash of Coke and a splash of lime juice.
Yeah, you just want 8 ounces of liquor, a squirt of sour, and a squirt of Coke. Like, gross. And also, I'm not making that for you. And he was like, okay, well then, can I have like a quadruple Jack and Coke? And she's like, no. What in God's name are you talking about? She's like, listen, you can have 2 doubles. I don't give a shit about that. I think it's against the law in Ohio to pour more than 2 ounces of
I think I heard that
into
too,
a glass. Not that this bartender knew that, but it was one of those things.
Gave a shit.
Or gave a shit. It was just like, dude, you're 20 I'm not. It was 7:30 at night. I was there watching Jeopardy, and it's like, dude, you read the room. It's not time for a quadruple. Like, your night is fucked if you have that one cocktail. Well, can I just get a double Long Island? No, disgusting.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. You know, Jess had her first Long Island. I think it was like last year. Or maybe
crazy.
the year before. Yeah, she's never had them before. And
I thought that was like a rite of passage for everybody when you were like 21.
That's what I fucking
That's the
said.
classiest drink you can think of when you're 21.
Yeah, and so we were bar hopping, and we were down on the west end of Lakewood, which we will only do if it's like a Saturday day or Sunday. We're not hanging out there on the weekend nights because that fucking part of town sucks balls.
That's total dumpster.
Fucking 21-year-old kids puking all over each other because they can't handle their booze.
Around the corner dick holes, and it's fucking awful.
Yeah. So funny enough, I mean, it's kind of weird coincidence, but we went to Hairy Buffalo and grabbed lunch, and the bartender came over, and I was like, hey, listen, she's never had a Long Island. Can you make one for her? And she goes, yeah, absolutely. And then brings it over, and we were sitting at a table. It wasn't at the bar, so when the server brought it over, and she's like, oh, this is all right. And I was like, what? I'm like, that's not what people say when they drink Long
Right.
Island's. You're like, this is fucking delicious.
They go, holy shit, this tastes like nothing.
Yeah. And so I took a sip, and the fucking Ricky Ritardo bartender fucking put in like ginger beer instead of Coke.
Ew.
And I don't think there was any sour in there too. And I go, what the fuck is this?
Gross.
I go, this is not a real Long Island. I was like, so you can drink it or you can tell her to, you know, fuck off with it. Then we ordered a couple of white gummy bear shots.
Sure.
Those are delicious. Have you had them before?
I have. I'm
Okay.
not a big fan of shots like that, but I have had them.
Well, it's easy for people that don't want to do straight shots.
100%.
So we ordered 2 of those. The server brings them back and they have this like orangey color. And I go,
Nope.
this is not an orange gummy bear. This is a white gummy bear. We taste those. They're fucking dog shit. So we're
What
like,
the fuck did she put in it that was orange?
I have no idea. I don't know why they had this orangish color. I couldn't even think of like what, unless she put in what's the like grandma? Is that got like an orangey color?
Sort of. Maybe.
I don't know. But still, so we
I
fucked
feel like
off.
grandma just looks like whiskey.
I think it does too.
Yeah.
So we fucked off, came back over in the side of town. We went to patio, and our friend Britt was working.
Love the patio.
And so we're like, I was like, Britt, we just came from Harry Buffalo. We tried to order Jess her first Long Island, and it was complete dog shit. And she's like, I got you. And she made one for Jess, and she's like, holy shit. She's like, you guys have been drinking these the whole time? I go, well, no.
No.
We did that for like a year when we were 21 to 22.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't do that anymore. And she's like, this is amazing. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Then she orders the second one and gets halfway through, and she's like, I'm ready to go
A little
home.
hammered, yeah.
Yeah, she's like, I'm ready to go home. I go, it's 2 p.m. We have a whole day. What do you
Holy
mean you're
shit.
ready to go home? Like, what are you supposed to do?
That's an end of the day cocktail.
Yeah.
That just, it's like, this is the beginning of the end when you get a Long Island.
It's one of those things where, like, you just got out of work, your friend's been hanging at the bar, they're already kind of drunk.
Yeah.
But by the time you show up, it's like 1 o'clock.
Yeah, you're like, I have 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm on the clock.
I can crack like 2 fucking Long Islands and
Yeah.
like catch a little buzz before having to like close
Exactly.
down.
I
Yeah.
would definitely do that, but I would not order one at 1:30 in the afternoon. And I really hoped that story was going to go a different way. When you said that Jess ordered her first ever Long Island, like if I was a bartender and someone was like, hey, I'm 30 and I've never had a Long Island before, I'd be like, holy fuck, am I going to make you the most tits Long Island of all time?
Same.
I would charge them the lowest possible price, and I would put in all top shelf liquor and be like, here's the greatest Long Island for your first experience.
I mean, which is great, but when they get to, like the next one, it may not be as good.
Oh, sure.
I mean, it will.
It'll sully them forever.
I mean, when you have a Long Island, there's no real difference between top shelf and like.
I guess
well,
not. I
there
mean-
really isn't. I don't care what anybody fucking says.
You're probably right, but there definitely would be a difference in your hangover the next day if you were drinking quality shit instead of liquors all mixed together.
Sure.
But you're having a hangover anyway. It's not like you're gonna have a good hangover or bad. You're just having a fucking Long Island hangover. There's no way around it.
Yeah, I mean, like we could fucking blind taste test, even like with like all of our bartender friends, and I guarantee you, like they would
Yeah.
not be able to, tell the difference in what was high shelf and what was well.
I just feel like when a bartender has a little bit of like creative space with a cocktail, or just like I was saying with Jess, like, hey, this is my first ever Long Island. I would think the person would be like, this is going to be so fun to cater to this person and make something special for them. Oh, speaking of, so not a bar that I got thrown out of, but do you know Rubens?
Yeah, that was up on Lorraine.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Is it
I mean,
not there
it's
anymore?
No, it's gone.
No shit.
They tore that whole fucking thing like all apart.
Sure. So I definitely got thrown out of Rubens.
Go
not
on.
physically, but I did get told to leave. So it made me think of it because when I went there, I'm obviously hammered. I think you have to be hammered to go to Rubens.
Yeah. I mean, some people have my friends.
Yeah.
Some people have Diana's.
Right.
Some people have Rubens.
Yeah.
It's pick your poison.
So I
or
lived
also
right over
based
there.
on location and where you're at.
Yeah. So I lived right over there. And Jen and I went to Rubens after the bar, and I was fucking annihilated when we were there. And of course, I could not stop myself from ordering the rinky dink omelet because it's their garbage omelet. It just has everything in it.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah, and it was like $8. So the server comes over, takes Jen's order, and then it's like, "And for you, sir," and gives me that side eye look, like for the hammered one. And I'm like, "Listen," which is a great way to start.
Yeah.
You're ordering, like it's gonna be a fucking issue now. But I'm like, "Listen, here's what I want. I want the rinky dink omelet, but I go, do you guys have an open food button on your POS? And she goes, yeah, why? And I go, I want you to ring it in $4, and I want you to send it to the kitchen with the mod that says dinkier. And she's like, what? And I'm like, tell the chefs I want the rinky-dink omelet, but I want to pay more for it, and I want them to make it $4 dinkier.
What a weird word to use.
Yeah, and Jen is like, you are so fucking embarrassing. And I'm like, mind your goddamn business. So, because I was annihilated, and the server's like, whatever, rolling her eyes. She rings in the ticket. Swear to God, 2 minutes later, I hear this dude in the kitchen just go, fuck yeah. And I was like,
really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They brought out this omelet. It probably had 12 eggs in it. It was the size of a manhole cover. It was the largest fucking culinary abortion you've ever seen in your life. It was just this giant trash omelet with meats and I mean, you couldn't tell any of them, but it was ridiculous. And the guy, I could see him looking out the little window hole of the door from the kitchen, like, who the fuck is this drunk imbecile?
Who the fuck
and I'm like,
this?
yeah, and I'm like giving him the nod, and he's giving me the fuck yeah nod.
Well, you know those guys are fucking stoned
my
as
God,
fuck.
absolutely.
I mean, that's the industry for the line cooks.
No doubt. And I mean, I would think if you were stoned and cooking at Reuben's and some drunk imbecile says, I want my omelet $4 dinkier, you'd be like, fuck yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah. Especially you know that the shift you're working is all the drunk people coming in.
Because it was like 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So I'm eating, I get through like a third of this thing, and I'm like, I'm going to go outside and have a smoke. So I go out, I'm having a smoke outside, and there are two guys, two Arab guys, and they're having a conversation in Arabic. So drunk Dave decides this is the time to pretend that I speak Arabic.
Oh, my God.
And I just start interjecting into their conversation with guttural noises.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. Turns out they're the owners. So I get like walked back inside to my very already unhappy wife with my, she's not pleased with my menu choice. And then I come walking in and I'm like, we're going to need some boxes. And she's like, that's all after they made it fucking dinkier. You're not going to eat any more of it. And I'm like, no, we have to go. Like,
yeah.
This is not optional at this point. We've been informed it's our time to leave. And she's like, by who? And I'm like, the two Arabic owners. And she's like, giving me this look like, was this in like a Jewish Arabic thing? And I'm like, kind of. It wasn't exactly good for the Middle East, what just happened outside. And she's like, well, what happened? I'm like, you remember how I sometimes think I can speak other languages? And she goes, Jesus fucking Christ, did you speak Arabic to them? And I go, yeah. And she goes, we have to leave. We're never coming back here. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure we're not welcome. So
no,
probably
not
the
after
only
that
person who's ever been thrown out of Reuben's before.
Did they what happened like in that moment? Was it like were they like confused? Like, what the fuck are you trying to say?
Oh, yeah.
Or do you think that you like happened to catch to like put a word together
like
that
I
was
accidentally said like motherfucker in Arabic?
Yeah,
or something?
like
no, definitely not.
Your mom's stinky butthole.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I just randomly put together a sentence like that. That would be amazing, but no. They were just like, wow, you're drunk and an asshole. And I'm like, check and check, friends. And they're like, speaking of, you should get your check and never come back here again. And I'm like, I'll go tell my wife. She's already pissed. They're like, I'm fucking sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I never went back to Reuben's again.
That's amazing. I've never been kicked out of there. Although every time we'd show up, we were always super hammered. And there was like this older lady that I would just like flirt with, like just for fun, and like just like being like, hey, let me get your phone number. And she's like, her English is like not that great, but like, and I'm not actually trying to do anything because she's much older, but like just being drunk and playing for fun. And she'd always be like, no, which I'm sure probably, who knows? She probably had like a fucking like an arranged marriage and probably has like multiple kids.
How old are we talking
when this happens? I would say probably like early to mid 20s.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you fucking close down the Richland and fucking let's go to Reuben's because we don't feel like eating more gyros next door that we just did the last 3 nights in a row.
Oh my God, that place is gross.
Yeah,
it's fucking gross.
But yeah, like then we'd go back another night and I'd be like, hey, what's up?
Of
what's
course.
up? Like,
hey girl,
let me get your phone number.
Yeah.
And I'm like, here, and I'll like write my phone number like on like a napkin and hand it to her, and she just laughs it off and just like throws it away. Like I'm like, every time.
Yeah, Reuben's is one of those places like Denny's or those type of places where nobody ever goes there. You just end up there. You know what I mean? Like, would you ever go to Reuben's in the afternoon?
No.
No.
That's
No.
strictly after hours.
Need to be hammered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just your basic like shitty little. I mean, it's actually was pretty big,
Yeah.
but it's diner food.
It's a diner.
Yeah. It's just only good when you're fucking hammered, and whether you want breakfast at fucking 3:30 a.m. or you want fucking chicken tenders
Or
and
a burger or
whatever.
But I love
or
the
a
places
rinky
like
dink.
that. Yeah, or a rinky dink omelet, $4 dinkier. I love that those places always have like, there's always one super confusing item on the menu, like grilled tilapia at Reuben's.
Yeah.
Are you fucking serious? Who has the balls? Like,
Yo, this is the kind of place you saw on what was that, like that Gordon Ramsay show where he was like
Kitchen Nightmares.
Kitchen Nightmares.
Yeah.
This is that kind of diner.
Oh, absolutely.
Like Gordon would show up and then he sees like, there's grilled tilapia. Yeah, let me try that. And he's like, what the fuck?
Dog shit.
Yeah. It's fucking raw.
It's raw.
Yeah, and then he goes back into like and checks out their walk-in, and then there's fucking mold growing in the fucking container where they have their fresh tilapia.
Yeah, the catch of the day.
Yeah.
is just like in a Lexan, just sitting in like tepid water in a refrigerator that goes to like 51 degrees.
Yeah, and it just smells like
and it
shit.
smells
Everything's
like
just
shit.
frosting in there.
There's like a pigeon that's in the kitchen for some reason.
Yeah, that's
love that
definitely
shit.
that kind of diner. It's a Kitchen Nightmares diner for sure.
Yeah. I wouldn't, I mean, I'm picky about where I get seafood from at even mediocre restaurants. Never mind like a place like Reuben's.
Yeah.
Can you fucking, I can't fucking imagine.
not really-
I'd really enjoy a grilled fish from Reuben's.
Yeah.
Why would you, like, it'd be like if you were like, oh, I'll have the mahi-mahi at like Applebee's.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
Fucking serious? Do you know that I used to kitchen manage an Applebee's?
No.
Yeah.
I know you've talked about like managing different places,
Yeah.
but I no.
For a very, very short time. My buddy Scott, who used to be the AGM of Dave and Buster's. Cheers.
Cheers.
He called me out of nowhere, and I wasn't working, and he was like, hey, you want a job? And I was like, yeah, I'm actually looking for a job. I was taking college classes at the same time. He was like, cool, I just became GM of this restaurant, and I want you to come and kitchen manage for me. And I'm like, great, that sounds awesome. I have some schedule restrictions because I'm in school. I tell him, he's like, great, you don't even have to interview, you're hired. And I'm like, cool, I'll come in, we'll talk about salary.
That's
also, where? And he goes, it's fucking Applebee's in
jeez.
Westlake.
Did you have to wear all the flair?
No. I'll tell you a funny story about having to wear the flare.
Okay.
But he told me to come and kitchen manage it. And this is the one that's right across, it used to be right across from Crocker Park.
Crocker Park, yeah.
And he was like, we agree on a salary. I came in for the first day, and I was just like, I'm not actually working this day. We're going to meet, we're going to talk, and I'm going to check out the kitchen and figure out what the game plan is. And he was like, okay. I came in, I scoured through the whole kitchen, and I told him 45 minutes later, I'm like, here's the deal. I'll take the job. Restaurant's closed tomorrow. That's the deal. And he's like, what are you talking about? This is like a franchise place. Like, we don't close. And I go, you do tomorrow, or I'm not fucking working here. This place is disgusting. It's fucking gross. And he's like, what are you talking about? They have these refrigerator units that are like underneath where their ovens are. So they're like these pull-out drawers that are refrigerator units. So the first thing
Quick
I do,
to grab and throw on the grill.
yeah, exactly. So the first thing I do is I take them all the way off the hinges so I can see underneath the ovens.
Yeah.
Dude, I found a skewer of shrimp underneath the oven. I don't know how long it takes for shrimp to dehydrate to the point where they look like salad shrimp, like those tiny little baby shrimp. But that fucking skewer had been there that long. The shrimp were like petrified and so fucking, I was like, dude, this is so unacceptable and unsanitary. I'm like, I'm not fucking working here. It'll look bad on this will make my resume worse, by the way. Like, wow. Like, that's
I'm
fucking,
doing you a favor.
I'm going to get a job as a KM, and it's going to make me look like shit.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking working like this. And he closed down the restaurant, and we deep cleaned that whole fucking place.
How the fuck did you get the pull for that? Like, where does that come from? The guy being like, hey, listen, boss above me, we're trying to hire a new KM, kitchen manager, by the way, if you're not familiar, that he has requested for us to be closed tomorrow to basically clean the whole fucking kitchen before we get back into business. Like, that's fucking wild.
It is. But I was like, those are your options. I work here, or I don't. But you call it, I'm coming in tomorrow and we're cleaning and the restaurant's fucking closed.
Well-
Because it took us 8 fucking hours to clean that place.
What I imagine. And listen, and no offense to you, but like,
But who the fuck am I?
right. That's what I'm saying. Like, what kind of like situation was he in? Like, how desperate was he? Like, we fucking need somebody. I mean,
By the
who
way-
knows? He could be overworked and he's the one doing that position. He's like, I don't want to fucking do it anymore. If it takes us to be closed for a fucking day, then so fucking be it.
Also, I'm not a kitchen manager.
Yeah.
I've worked in kitchens before, but I did that when I was a kid. When I was like 14 till I was 17, I worked in kitchens. And then I got a job where they put me in front of house and they were like, wow, you're really good with people. And I was like, and I'm making tips, which was so much better than the $7 an hour they were paying you to work in kitchens when I did it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, so I work an 8-hour shift. I make $56. You take out the taxes, I made $35
Yeah.
to fucking work in this kitchen for 8 hours. And then I'm a server, and I'm like, I come home clean, no scars, because I was always burning myself in the kitchen, cutting myself and stuff. And I'm like, I come home clean, I don't fuck my body up at all, and I make like $200.
Mm-hmm.
This is better.
Yep.
So,
Well, now that you've brought this up, can you please tell everybody the story?
which one?
If you don't mind.
I don't. Which one? I know it's going to be one of two. I'm just not sure which one.
I'm trying to like not ruin it. Sorry, hold on. I'm trying to think of it. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah.
It was
the recent one from
Is-
the Father's Day one.
I think is this, and I'm trying not to spoil this, but you have a son.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about that?
Sure.
Yeah,
I'm
this is
open
a
to
great
it.
story, and I think people need to hear this.
Okay.
If you don't mind, yeah,
I
this is
don't.
hilarious.
I have 2 stories.
Okay.
I'll tell them both.
Well,
How
listen,
are we on
got
time?
we got time. We're about 45 minutes in. We could tell these stories, and then we can get to
You got a little game?
I do, of
Perfect.
course. I always
All
got
right.
one for every episode.
All right, I'll talk quickly and I'll go in order. So the first one, these are both when I'm not going to name the restaurant because I think that would be weird, but it is an Australian themed steakhouse. Okay. So I was working at one in Cuyahoga Falls and I noticed something really strange at that location because it was not the first Australian themed steakhouse I had worked at. And the strange trend there was that there were so many pregnant women that would come in. Like half of my tables had pregnant women at them. And I also noticed, because I'm very, incentivized by money, shockingly, while I'm working. So these tables would tip like shit. And understandably, because you have a kid on the way, it's going to be a financial detriment. So I understand, but they would all tip like shit. So I decided I would figure out how am I going to make money off of these pregnant tables because I get so fucking many of them, like an inordinate amount of pregnant tables.
Mm-hmm.
So I made up a backstory where I had a kid on the way, right? So I started, anytime I saw a pregnant, I'm like, oh my God, when are you due?
This
That's
is
so cool.
genius, by the way.
Right. This is a great idea. And it worked, right? And by the way, I did it right. Like I came up with a name that I was going to name this kid. I came up with a due date so that I was giving the same story to everybody. So I have my shit all together. So I've been doing this for a couple of months, and then this extraordinarily hot but churchy server that I work with catches wind of it. She pulls me aside one night while we're at the bar together, and she gives me literally the come to Jesus conversation.
Oh, no.
And she's like, this is so fucked up. Morally, this is terrible. And you should stop doing it. It's really offensive. And for whatever reason, the conversation took, and I was like, you know what? You're right. It is offensive and it's wrong. So I stopped doing it. So fast forward a couple of months, I have not ran this gag whatsoever. And I get this table and I walk over and I'm like, welcome to blah, blah, blah. My name is, and it's a couple and they have a kid and a baby. And the guy goes, I say, welcome, my name is, and the guy goes, Dave, right? And I go, yeah. Hi. Have I waited on you before? And he goes, yeah. And I go, great, I hope you had a great time because you're definitely going to have a great time now. And he goes, yeah, I was just wondering, how's your kid? And I go,
Uh-oh.
what? And he goes, your kid. How's your kid? And I go, I don't have any kids. And he like looks at his wife like she looks fucking mortified. She's staring at the floor. He like stares at her and he starts going like, pfft, pfft. He's like, I fucking told you. I fucking knew it. I told you. And he looks at me and he goes, you told us you were going to have a kid. We thought you were going to have a kid.
Yeah.
Now, this is officially putting baby in a corner.
Yeah.
And I am a fucking animal if you put me into a corner. It is not pretty. So I did what any responsible person would do. He said, this is bullshit. You said you were going to have a kid. We thought you were going to have a kid. So I immediately stared at my feet and I paused for 5 seconds and I said, so did I. And then I spun on my heels and I walked away from the table. And I go back to the kitchen and my AGM, Jeremy, is standing on the line. And I just go, fuck. As soon as I walk into the kitchen, I just go, fuck. And he goes, what? And I'm like, I don't even want to tell you. I'm like, you have to give this table away. And he's like, no, I'm not giving any tables away. Why? What happened? And I go, well, good. You'll fucking love this story. And I tell exactly that story to him. As I'm telling it, he literally... I've never seen his eyes light up like that. Like opening presents.
Like horrified?
No, like excited.
Oh,
like really
that you're in this position?
That I'm fucked now. Because I'm the fucking cock of the walk when I'm a server, bro. Like I am unfucking touchable. And he's just like, literally at one point, he started jumping up and down, clapping his hands.
Like the Adam Sandler and
he's
like Billy Madison.
So excited that I'm fucked. And I'm like, bro,
fucking got him.
I'm like, dude, you got to give this fucking table away. And he's like, no, you made your bed, now go sleep in it. I'm like, dude, I haven't gotten their fucking drink order yet. You want me to walk back over now? I just told them that I miscarried my imaginary child, and now you want me to ask them if they want an Aussie Rita? Go fuck yourself. And he's like, nobody's getting that table. You're fucking taking it.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Fine. So I go over to the table, stare at my feet, get their order.
Did you like do any like eye wiping?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh dude, I sold it like a motherfucker.
All right, sorry, go on.
Very somber, and then take their order, and neither of them would look at me. The wife, the husband, neither. They're mortified. I ruined their evening, right? Like they're gonna have a conversation on the ride home about what an asshole that husband is for making me relive the miscarriage of my imaginary. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So their bill
Their
bill was $80, and they tipped me fucking 50 on 80 because he felt like an asshole.
Yeah. Wait. So hold on, back up. Did you what was what did you tell them? Like when you went back out there, how did you like?
I stared at the ground and pretended that I was an offended and sad server.
That's it.
Yep. I was just very meek.
Nothing was ever brought back up from there.
Not at all. Nope. They never looked at me. Never.
They just stared at the menu like, I'll just have the...
Yep. And then when I walked over, I'm like, how is everything? They're both staring like at the floor, and they're like, it's great. And I'm like, I'm so glad for you. I'm so happy for you that you're enjoying. And they tipped me $50. So I took that smoking hot server out that night. I bought all of her drinks, and I was like, just so you know, here's how those got paid for. This is your fault, you dumb bitch. Like, I'm like, you killed that child. Like, this was going to be a great thing. I would have gotten pictures and put them in my wallet. I would have ran this fucking game forever, and you ruined it, you church bitch. And now my child is dead.
Yeah.
And you've ruined their evening.
Yeah.
Which was great. And then the other one, and I'll tell it real quick, is so for Father's Day, it's also a different location. This was the Westlake Australian themed steakhouse.
The down under tube steak.
The good old good Tucker or whatever they say. Yeah. So Father's Day is, first of all, the most dog shit holiday of all time. But I always want to, again, make the most money possible. So I would pretend that I have a kid. And so like I Googled a picture of a kid playing T-ball, and I made a baseball card and kept it in my wallet, and and everybody would be like, I'd be like, hey, happy Father's Day. And they'd be like, cool, are you a dad? And I'd be like, yeah. And then I'd pull out my wallet, and I'd show them this baseball card, little Mikey Cone, from whatever, and it said Mikey. I mean, I doctored this thing up. I'm like, yeah, he plays shortstop, got a heck of a bat on him, like all absolute nonsense. And the other servers are fucking furious.
Oh yeah, they're standing there probably
so
watching you do this from the fucking window of the door, like
they're so
that
mad.
Motherfucker,
that fucking liar. He can just stand there and lie, and he doesn't even feel bad about it. And I'm like, no. So
because there is no God.
No, it was fucking great. The end of the night, we're all cleaning up the restaurant, and my buddy Jim, he's like, hey Brandon, what'd you make? And Brandon's like, oh, I made $275. It's awesome. What'd you make, Jim? Jim's like, oh, I made $315. It is awesome. Cone, what'd you make? I'm like, $794. You guys are fucking idiots. And they're like,
the sweet scam.
Always ran shit like that. On Mother's Day, I would buy like $80 worth of carnations and bring them into Outback with me. Fuck, I said the name. Australian themed steakhouse. It was Outback, but never mind. Yeah, so I would bring in all these carnations and I would hand them to all the moms, and they were from me, and they all would see that the other moms in other sections didn't get them. So I'd go to a table, I'd be like, hey, who are the moms at the table? And 3 hands would go up, I'd be like, I'll be right back and get your drink order. And then I'd bring out 3 flowers. And
Beautiful.
Each. Yeah.
Damn, this is great, dude.
I would spend $80 on fucking flowers and make an extra $350.
For sure, yeah, it's fucking great investment.
Oh my God. And every server's like, motherfucker. And I'm like, get a florist. Be a fucking grown-up. What's the matter with you?
That's so good.
Yeah, dude, I am an unbelievable scammer.
If I ever open up a restaurant,
yeah, I'll train you in front of house.
Yeah. That's beautiful. All right, listen up here. We got Mr. Dave Cohn. He's gonna fucking train all of you.
Yeah.
You listen what he says, or get the fuck out.
I'm so fucking good at it. It's obnoxious.
That's hysterical. So yeah, we're gonna get into this game here, but before we do, I wanted to tell you that. So my dad, I think I mentioned like when I was hanging out with him on Father's Day, and he's like, oh yeah, I tried like clicking on the link that you guys are posting, right? And I was like, oh yeah, my dad doesn't have Spotify, right? So I had to like send him like an iHeartRadio link so he can listen to it for free. He messaged me the other day, and he's like, hey, Tony, he's like, I listened to your podcast, and I was like, oh, awesome. I was like, how was? He's like, yeah, it was like pretty funny for like the most part. He's like, but like, I don't know, I didn't really like the whole like masturbating thing. And I paused, and I was
trying to think about what the masturbating thing was.
Okay, thank you, because I was like, I don't remember anything about masturbating being in any of our episodes, which, I mean, it's plausible. We talked about glory holes. Right. Who knows? We've definitely probably could have talked about masturbating in any of these episodes. And it could have just been such a small bit. But my dad's like, yeah, he's like, and actually here, hold on, give me 1 second. I actually want to pull this up word for word to see what he said, because it's so ridiculous. Let's see. Oh, yeah. He says, I listened to your podcast. It was okay, and some funny, some not so much about the masturbating stuff. Ha ha. And I was like, are you talking about the Asian rub and tug? And then he's like, yeah, I think maybe. He's like, when you guys started talking about masturbating? And I was like, I don't even remember that. And he's like, really? He's like, you guys made that? You don't even remember? And I was like, Dad, we did these like weeks ago. I don't know. Like we were already filming like episodes before we even got them like uploaded.
Sure.
And he's like, oh, okay. But I thought that was like really funny. Like out of everything, there's some
So did you find out what he was talking about?
No.
Oh my God.
I just looked at that.
We'll have to know for next week. I'm just curious if he misconstrued something as colloquially being masturbation that we didn't mean.
Well, or I mean,
or maybe we just casually brought it up and neither of us remember it.
Right, because it's such a small part of the conversation.
Is in our range to talk about.
100%.
100%.
But and I asked him about the Asian rub and tug, and then he's like, "Yeah, I think so." So, is he offended about
because they're Asian?
Yeah,
he just fucking hates.
Yeah,
Asians.
He's Italian and just hates all the Asians.
Fucking goddamn Asians. He's like, it was really funny. You know what I didn't care for? All that stuff with those goddamn Asians. And you're like, Jesus, Dad.
I don't know if it was just he just is not pumped about the idea of an Asian rub and tug. I don't know.
I mean,
maybe he's got a little bit of class, I guess, compared to the story who we were talking about and referring to. But apparently, my dad's he was like, yeah, I don't know. That wasn't really so funny. But he's older and
All right, so no jerk off talk.
Well, no, we're definitely gonna be talking about jerking off. Yeah, I don't give a shit if my dad's listening or not. Yeah, he's probably stopped already listening already.
Yeah.
So
what's your dad's name?
Sal.
Hey, Sal. Of course it is.
Yeah.
Sal Morella.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Salvatore Morella. Of course. Yeah. That's my dad.
Yeah, I don't think you can actually
AKA Big Italy.
I was going to say, I don't think you're allowed to say that name if you don't have a handful of prosciutto. I'm pretty sure it's required for you to have a cold cut in one fist to say the name Salvatore Morella.
Yeah. Get that gabagool.
Get the gabagool. Yeah.
All right, well, let's do this shot, and I am ready to drop the next game. Salud, bud.
Cheerio.
Okay. So
that was a big one.
Yeah, that was a big boy. This game, I'm gonna have you pull from the boys' hat strictly.
How many would you care for?
Well, you still get 3.
Okay.
But it's only gonna be from the boys. We're not gonna throw the girls in here. It's not sexual, but I think this would just be much funnier choosing of the boys.
Great.
So I'm gonna shake these up a little bit here.
And is this gonna be one of the games where we both have our answers for?
Yeah, same as every week.
Great.
Yep. Nothing's changed. Same thing. Like, you pull the names, you drop your answers, and then I'm gonna go off the same boys that you pull.
I'm ready, baby.
And go from there. Okay, here you go. He is pulling number 1. Who do we got?
Numero uno is Danny, which is the extraordinarily gay bartender from the Lear Road Inn.
Okay, are you still wanting to keep that?
Sure.
Okay.
I know you don't know him, but he's 6'4". He's very handsome. He has nipple rings, and he's like one of the greatest bartenders of all time.
Okay, that's
I feel
fine.
like that's enough.
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead and throw in. Here comes number 2. Survey says.
Fucking Mike Berry.
Oh, Mike Berry. So
interesting.
Mike Berry, I feel like we should throw a shot in for
Yeah,
instead of. Well, he was in there for shots purposes, not for game purposes.
Deal.
Okay, so
All right.
let's take a quick 1-2. Let's pour a new shot.
Oh, good. I haven't had one in almost 90 seconds.
Yeah, well, listen, you should have pulled Mike Berry then.
Yeah, well.
He's the Joker card.
That's true.
All right, salute to
Cheers.
Mike Berry. Love
to
you,
Mike
bud.
Berry, love you, bud.
R.I.P. Okay,
All right, so
I got to pull 2 more.
I think I grabbed 2.
Oh, perfect. Okay, I'll set this down.
Perfect.
Okay, here we go. Who do we got?
This just says quack.
Oh, yeah, that's Mr. Quacksworth.
Oh, duck. Got it.
Yeah.
It's a little on the nose.
Yeah. Well,
All
that's
right,
what we
so
did when we
Mr.
were writing these up. We didn't want to like throw by name, but we threw Quack in there.
And one of my favorite and most disgusting friends, Dan Amador.
I was wondering if he was going to get pulled.
Yes.
I told him too. Like, he's been listening. He's been loving the show.
Love it.
I think he even just showed Rebecca the.
That dude's fucking wild.
I know.
He
I love
has
that
told
dude.
me some unbelievably gross stories. We'll talk about that at some point.
So I told him too. Like, he's like, I love the games at the end. Blah blah blah. And I go, listen, Bob. I go, oh, he said that he showed Rebecca the episode where we had like the prostitute game. And I go, listen, your guys' names are in there.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's only a matter of time.
Yep.
I was like, we're wearing down. Like,
You're getting involved.
Yeah, I was like, and he's actually said he was looking forward to it.
I'm
so
sure.
I was genuinely curious if you were actually going to pull his name. So
Dan Amador, you are in, kiddo. I'm so excited. I love where this is going to go. So
Okay.
it's Duckworth, who's like one of my best friends in the entire world. He's the friend I've had the longest. We've been friends for 26 years. And Amador, who's super disgusting, and Danny, who is gayer than the day is long. So this is going to be fucking fantastic.
speaking of, I guess let's get our technical issues down, but we have to get Danny in for
Yeah, for
the
sure.
episode was Ask a Gay Man.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Stoked. Can't wait.
Me too.
Okay. So here's your situation. You have just recently become a billionaire. Okay. You got a nice big house. And you got all these things. But there's stuff that things that have to be taken care of. You don't have that kind of time.
Sure. Well,
So
I'm a billionaire. I'm very busy.
Right. Very busy. So you are going to hire these 3 boys.
These 3.
These 3. So one of them is going to be your pool boy / landscaper. The other one's going to be your chauffeur, taking you around, maybe share some ice cream. I don't know.
Sure.
And then the third one is going to be the one that's going to be your maid / chef. And you get to, and listen, if you want them to wear the French maid outfit, that's your prerogative.
I feel like that's required.
Yeah, I think so too.
Oh,
So
man.
these are your 3 choices. So we have, you say Danny,
Danny.
super gay Danny,
Super gay Danny.
and then we have,
super tall, handsome, gay Danny. Dan Amador. Robert Duckworth.
okay.
Wow. All right. This one I'm actually going to have to think about for a minute. Because the easy answer for the first one, anyway, is that Danny would be the pool boy. He has a pool. He is fucking gorgeous. He is gorgeous.
So you think he's the most handsome person to
Definitely.
be doing like
But-
out by the pool, cleaning
yeah.
out your pool, bending over,
Yeah, that's-
laying mulch?
See, that's the other thing, is that I was thinking that, like, if I was laying out by the pool and the pool boy was there, like, hey, I'm here to clean the pool. Like, it would be funnier if it was Dan Amador.
It would be funny.
Yeah. All right. Fuck, man, this is rough.
That's okay.
Also,
Like, listen, you got time. You can take a second.
No, I got it.
We could talk this out. You can fucking take your time and.
Man, this is tough. All right.
So here's the options again. Ready? So your pool boy / landscaper, your chauffeur, and your maid / chef. So they're cooking and cleaning.
I got it.
You got it?
I do.
Okay.
All right. So 100% Amador is the pool boy. I'm so locked in right now because he would bend at the waist and look over his shoulder and like make kissy faces, and it would crack me up.
It would.
I would just be dying laughing the whole time. And for me, if I'm a billionaire, I want to be entertained. Like, that's the thing I want the most, is just to be entertained all fucking day. And sitting out by the pool and knowing that Dan Amador was going to be there with his like shitty mustache and just fucking you know what I mean? Just like looking over in kissy faces and stuff. Like, and he'd pull out his butt cheeks and like I'd be looking. He'd be like dipping the thing and that grabs the leaves out, and I'd be like, "Oh, you missed one." And I'd look over and he'd have like his ding dong hanging out of his pants.
Yeah,
fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
like,
what a jokester.
Laugh him. So definitely Dan Amador to be my very, very handsome pool boy. I'm definitely going to make Danny my chauffeur, and it's because he would look great in a suit with a little cap on. He is incredibly polite, and mostly it's because, Robert, I hope you're fucking listening, by the way. We've been friends for 26 years. You better be listening. Every time I get in your car, he has the fucking climate control on, like, Rwanda. It is like 97 degrees in his car, whether it's cold out, hot out, it doesn't matter. I have no.
Does he have air conditioning?
I don't know. I have no idea.
You've been friends with him for so long. You never asked him?
I've screamed at him. I literally have said it's like fucking Rwanda in here. Like, I've told him this multiple times. I don't understand what it is. He likes it hot. It's just gross, and I hate it so much. Like, in my car, you can hang meat in there when it's hot outside. Like, when I got out of the car today, my glasses immediately frosted over when I came outside because it's so muggy and gross and hot out, and it was like 49 degrees in the car. But Robert keeps it so hot, and his music taste isn't great. So I'm going Danny because Danny would play nothing but bangers.
Okay.
He would look great in the suit. And then Robert would have to begrudgingly clean my house, and he would do such a bad job, but he would hate it so much, which I would love. And he's not a great cook.
That's what I was going to ask next.
He's not a great cook, but he is working on it.
Okay.
Like, he literally, not too long ago, he was like, "Hey, can you give me a suggestion for a brand of a cast iron skillet?" And I was like, "Robert, I've known you for almost 30 years. This is the best question you've ever asked me." Because I fucking love to cook. Yeah, he's working on it because he's engaged now, so he wants to cook for his lady.
You know, the next time I see them, I do want to ask like baby girl, Christine.
Christine, yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right. I know my memory's kind of shit, but
yeah.
All right, good. I won't look stupid when Mr. Quacksworth listens to this episode. I want to ask her how his cooking skills have maybe progressed.
I don't think she's a great evaluator of cooking skills.
Okay.
They just they're just not super into food.
Oh man. Okay.
It's just one of their things.
I love cooking. I love tasting. I love eating.
Oh my god, it's the best.
Dude, that's like one of the things like I love about Jess. Like, we can fucking hang out and cook dishes and fucking take something from 6 different recipes, combine it into one. We'll hang out, we'll start cooking, we'll have drinks, and then while things are simmering, we're like, "You want to do a shot?
Yeah.
Let's do a mid dinner shot."
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I love
cooking,
that.
Love it.
I wish that I could do that with Jen. I cannot. She is a horrific cook. It's horrible. But interestingly, she's a great baker, and that's something I can't do.
See,
because definitively, it's art versus science.
Yes.
And baking, like, Jen loves the order of following a recipe and like weighing out ingredients and like following the rules, and I couldn't be farther from that because I'll read recipe for something, any dish from the greatest chef in the world, who is Joel L. Robuchon, by the way. I'll read his recipe for a dish, and I'm like, "Listen, dummy, maybe a little more salt."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Listen
like,
here,
I'm
fuckface.
smarter than
That's
you.
not enough
you
garlic.
French dickhole. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And let's be honest. Yeah, he's a celebrated chef. He's probably right. But you can't do that when you bake. Like,
No,
Bro,
everything has to be exact.
It's unbelievable, and I'm such a fucking moron. Like, I can make risotto, trumpet mushroom risotto, blackout drunk, and it'll be fucking one of the greatest things you've ever tasted. And I can't make fucking pancakes.
Well,
I'm too stupid to make pancakes.
But pancakes don't even come down to the actual bakery part of it.
Well, they come down to weighing ingredients unless you're picking up the jug of Bisquick that you just add milk to. That
enough.
I can do.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but
All
I mean,
right,
if it's
I
like,
understand.
okay, you need a quarter teaspoon of baking powder, and I'm like, this is probably a quarter teaspoon, and I just go like tap on the side of the thing. It's like a fucking tablespoon. Like, it's so much. And then they come out and they're fucking dense as they're like fucking pieces of concrete. And Jen is like, are you retarded? And she's like, you just made an amazing dinner last night at 3:30 in the morning, which took you 2.5 hours while we were drunk, and it was fabulous.
I love those nights.
And then you're too stupid to make fucking pancakes the next morning. I'm like, yeah, that's my
Sorry,
life.
yeah, that's how my brain works.
All right, you're up, kiddo. Pool boy, chauffeur, maid/chef for Dan Amador,
So
Big Gay Danny, and
yeah.
Robert Quacksworth.
So funny enough, I'm actually gonna fall in the same order.
You're matching my answers?
Yeah,
No
and which
way.
is these were because
This has
like
never happened.
because the last few weeks I feel like that I'm like so focused in on listening to your answers and hashing back. And we had Coley on last week,
Yeah.
same thing. And then it comes to me, I'm like, fuck, I forgot to think about this.
Yeah.
And it comes to me and I feel like I was like taking too long with my answers. So this time, as I was asking the question, I started looking down and thinking about who I was going to go in.
Yeah.
Funny enough, you lined exactly with mine. So here's my answers.
Yeah.
I would definitely have Dan be my pool boy
So,
because he's going to be fucking shirtless in a Speedo.
Oh, yeah.
Getting those fucking leaves out of the pool.
The smallest Speedo, like when Chris
Yeah.
Farley answers the door in the hotel room
Yes.
and Tommy Boy is like, thank you,
100%.
Richard.
Yeah.
Like, it would be that.
Richard, hold me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, that would be Dan. I would love to have that because it's the same thing. Like as you said, like I would love to like sit in my nice air conditioning and my like I don't know. I'm assuming that I have like a big giant room where I'm sipping on an old fashioned and smoking a cigar, even though I don't really smoke cigars. But I'll have that where I sit there and like just watch Dan clean the pool because he's got to be topless in a tiny Speedo.
Oh, yeah.
You know, getting the leaves out.
Hillbilly tan.
And you're right though, because like he may like pull the leaves up and then like a splash of pool water hits him in the face, and then he's got to like slowly like
shake
wipe it
up.
out of his mustache.
His thin mustache. Yeah, dude. It would be fucking hilarious. Like, now I want a pool, and only so Dan Amador can come over and clean it.
Oh yeah, and be like, hey, listen, Dan, we're gonna be mulching all the beds here, and then like I go outside to make sure that he's doing an okay job, and like Dan's gonna have butt crack hanging out.
Oh, so much butt. Like, nonstop butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a lot of butt
He'll
crack.
probably wear like shorts that have like a cutout so you can see the butt crack. Like, they'll just be like an intentional fashion styled hole in the back of them specifically for his crack.
I would not put that past him.
Yeah.
I think that he'd be like, this is gonna be really funny, and then he would do it, would walk out and laugh, and then we'd laugh together.
Yeah. It'd be hilarious.
Then I'd be like, get back to work.
Exactly.
And then I'd go back in the air conditioning.
Right. Plus, I don't want somebody super handsome cleaning my pool. I just like, feel self-conscious now. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm a fat piece of shit, and look at you with your abs. Like,
Yeah,
suck a dick.
fuck all on
I'll
that.
take Dan
Yeah.
Amador. I'll
Yeah.
take lumpy old Dan.
So for the chauffeur, I'm gonna take Danny,
Take Big Gay Danny.
Big Gay Danny. Just because you said that he plays bangers. I also don't really know him that well, so I
No.
feel like you already talk highly of him.
Yeah.
So if we're sitting in the car and he's driving me around to wherever, I feel like I could sit in the back seat. We can listen to bangers, sing them out together, or just have a good conversation.
Or not. He's one of those guys who would understand that maybe, I mean, you're a billionaire, maybe you're busy, but he's one of those people who's smart enough to know that sometimes he should shut the fuck up. And, you know, if you need a little quiet time, but yeah, he would play bangers. You'd have great conversation. He would show you to some awesome bars and stuff like that. Like,
I mean, that's also what the window's for in the middle. Like,
oh yeah,
Danny,
I forgot about that.
fuck off.
The fuck off
and then
window.
just roll the window up.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I'm just sit here and be quiet by myself.
Yeah, I wish I had that in my car with my wife sometimes.
Between the driver and the passenger
yeah,
seat.
just be like, brrr.
Roll the window up.
Sorry, it's cone time.
Yeah.
Dave Cone time.
And then so it leaves
Robert
quack, quack,
as the maid.
Mr.
God,
Duckworth
he's gonna fucking hate
to
it, bro.
being the maid and chef. And here's the thing, it's typically by default. And that's why I was asking earlier on like what kind of cook he was, because you know, I would hope that like he can make me a pretty decent meal. But here's the deal. I also love to cook.
Same.
I'll hang out with Duckworth and we can cook meals together. I'll show him a tip or two.
Same.
And then we can work up his game. So when it gets down to making dinners for sweet baby girl, like she's gonna be like,
But
holy
let's be
fuck.
honest, when the bolognese is simmering and it's 2 hours away, you'd be like, Robert, go make my fucking bed. Like, this isn't fucking break.
Yeah, listen, this is
Simmering isn't work, Robert. Go get
stir.
fucking something done. Yeah, I'll stir.
Yeah. Go make the bed.
Yeah, pair my socks, bitch.
Go dust a corner somewhere. Also, I think it would be funny to see Duckworth in a French maid outfit.
100%.
Yes.
I was thinking the same
and listen,
thing.
it was going to be coming down to fucking between Dan and Duckworth.
Yeah.
Between that maid outfit.
Not a bad choice.
Yeah. So it just so happens that I think it would be much more hilarious seeing Dan as the pool boy as opposed to Duckworth, and vice versa for the maid outfit. Although I think Dan would probably still look great in the maid outfit.
He would own it so hard that he would kill it.
He would. That's the great thing about Dan. He's a great fucking sport.
Yeah, he would be a great
occasions.
sport about it for sure. But yeah, I mean, also I would give Duckworth a lot of slack if he entered the room with the French maid outfit on and played "I Want to Break Free" by Queen.
Oh yeah,
like
that would be so many props. Oh yeah,
dude. If he just like that's all, he wouldn't even have to clean my house.
Yeah,
like if just once a day, I would hear the song come on and he would just walk in begrudgingly with a vacuuming, out and just play like fucking 3 bars of it, and I'd be like, cool, you have the day off.
Yeah,
paid.
Yeah. Listen, play this song.
Yep.
Vacuuming, you could fuck off for the day.
So fucking good.
Yeah. So yeah, those are my choices.
I love it. First time ever we matched up.
We did match up. Yeah.
It was bound to happen. It's going to happen one of these times.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah. Mathematically, it has to.
I mean, this is going to come down to these fucking choices, like with these hats. So yeah.
All right. Well, Dan Amador, we're calling you out. Happy to have you on the show as well, because you are fucking hysterical. But more so, go get your fucking maid outfit.
Well, no, it would be Duckworth that's going to be the maid outfit. Okay. Dan's the pool boy. So,
well, I mean, but there's not really a pool boy outfit, but he's going to wear a Speedo.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
So, Dan, basically what Dave's trying to say is that we're going to become billionaires, and then you could be our pool boy.
Yeah, and then you can clean our pool.
Yeah.
I said the same thing to Robert a long time ago. They sell these little sheds like outside of Home Depot. And I told him that when I get filthy rich, I'm going to buy one that he can live in. And that will be his home shed.
So instead of an actually nice guest house,
no, you can have the shed. And then I told him that his job would be that he has to pick up my dog's shit because it's my least favorite chore.
It does suck. I hate doing
it. Your dog weighs like 9 pounds, bro. Don't tell me about
still,
shit.
But doesn't
Delmo
matter.
takes dumps like he ate Indian food the night before. Like,
yeah, fair enough. Yeah. But still, like picking up shit.
Gross.
Like when you're like, hey, I gotta go mow the lawn. You're like, fuck, I haven't picked up shit in like 4 or 5 days, and you got to still walk around, clean up all the shit before you can even mow the lawn.
So I told Robert I would give him a job. He could live free in the shed I will provide, and that I would give him a job. And he was like, what's the job? And I'm like, you can clean up Delmo's shit. And he's like, what does it pay? Which I love that he just straight faced it. He wasn't like, fuck you, I'm not picking up shit. He was like, what's the pay? And I was like, I don't know, like $9 a pound.
A pound?
Like he's gonna have to weigh it.
Yeah,
He's gonna have to weigh in.
Well, that's actually the best. That's actually hilarious, because how many shits or how big of shits is Domino taking?
3/4 pound shits, I would say.
Okay, so it would actually be hilarious if you actually had a scale outside the house that he does scoop.
A truck weigh in.
Yeah, so that he actually scoops up all the dog shit and has to put it in a bag and then puts it on the scale. And then has to record the weight and then show it to you in order to
exactly to get his ticket to cash out.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you the
worst
thing.
casino ever.
Yeah. So I told him immediately, and this was all just obviously a joke. But when I told him that, I was like, you know what you should do? Because instantly I turned this into like, how would I make money off of this? I was like, I would eat so much fiber, and I would be taking huge dumps.
And putting them in the lawn.
And putting them in with the fucking, oh my God, I can't believe Delmo took 6 3.5 pound shits today. It would just be me taking shits and then making me pay myself. You
would have to pay for it.
I'd be like,
Robert,
worth it. Wow, you got 11 pounds of shit out of that dog today. That's crazy. And he'd be like, fuck yeah, counting off his $99.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which is funny because then he's shitting in my yard for $99 all fucking day. It's just entertaining.
It would be hilarious. Yeah, just as a grown man,
yeah.
just taking shits in the lawn instead of going to the toilet.
Yeah, I just imagine myself like using my really expensive coffee machine. I don't even like coffee, but I would have one of those like $6,000 fucking huge coffee machines, and I'd make myself a fucking cappuccino or whatever, and just be like, oh, and be looking out my window, enjoying my landscape because I'm a billionaire. And there's Duckworth just taking a dump in my yard and picking it up with gloves on.
Wait, he's taking a dump in it?
Yeah, that's the whole idea. Is that
he's also taking shits?
No. He would be taking the shits in the yard, not me. He would be taking the shits in the yard so that he can
gets
pick
more
up his
money.
own shit to make more money. Oh, you thought I was shitting in the yard and making him pick it up? I would do that too. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I thought you were saying that you were gonna like take shits in the lawn,
dude.
Because it'd be hilarious to watch Duckworth fucking pick up your shit because you're paying him for it anyways.
If he saw one of my dumps next to one of, first of all, most of the time he'd need a ladle to pick up one of my shits.
Oh, no.
Okay, I drink a lot, so he'd need a fucking slotted spoon for quite a piece of it. But yeah, other than that,
that's hilarious though to have. If he's like, man, the last few weeks I've been picking up Domino's shit and I've only got like $33. But then he's like, oh, I got a great idea. And then he just starts taking shits in the lawn.
And then I get a great
purposely
idea.
holding them.
So he can make more money.
Yeah.
And then I start taking shits in the yard
so
that he has to pick them up.
But you don't tell him. That's where it is.
I would allow it.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like you didn't come up with the idea with yourself. You happen to be looking out the window one day while you're sipping your little cappuccino and happen to see Duckworth taking a shit in the lawn and then being like, he's going to charge me for that.
That crafty motherfucker.
And then he does. He charges you for it, and then you go, all right, well, if this is a game we're going to play, I'm also going to shit in the lawn.
The game is afoot, Robert.
Yeah.
And I go shit in the yard.
Yeah. We just got to use a ladle for
wow,
mine.
what the fuck have you been feeding Delmo? He took a 3-foot long dump, and then one was like soup. Like, wow.
Shit. I don't know why that fucking happened. Sorry.
That's all right, but I think it is about that time.
Yeah. It is about that time. Yeah, this is
so
a lot of fun.
fast.
I know. Yeah, it happened way too fucking quick. So sorry for that. I literally just opened up my phone and that fucking happened. But I guess while we're at it, I mean, I guess
Such
we
an infectious
can
jam.
play it.
I think we should play it out.
It's do you think? Listen, every time that I hear it, it gets stuck in my head.
I wake up with it stuck in my head every Monday morning.
Yeah. Do you think that like other people listen to it and they kind of whistle along to it?
Mm-hmm.
I hope so.
Everybody who's listened to it has said they fucking love it.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Okay, well, I guess we're going to call that a wrap, huh?
Great episode.
This was a fun episode. Listen, guys, thank you for listening. We are pre-recording from our normal day. July 4th is going to be this coming Tuesday.
So happy 4th.
Yeah, but by the time you listen to it, 4th has already happened.
Yeah, hopefully you didn't get a DUI.
Or blow any limbs off.
Dudes. Whatever.
Or dudes.
Well, listen, whatever kind of
blow
party you go
dudes,
to.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a chick.
Listen, you could have gone to a glory hole on July 4th. Maybe that's your thing. You get to a glory hole.
know what?
Listen, it's July 4th. I want to go to a glory hole and blow a
Who am I to
dude.
kink shame people for sucking dicks?
That's absolutely right.
Yeah. Shame on me. I feel bad.
Yeah.
I'm going to go suck someone's dick and to repent.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. And then that way,
shove
if
a
anybody
dong
calls
to
you up,
feel
like,
it.
well, fuck you. You ever sucked a dick
Yeah.
before? You could be like, well, actually, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did it to repent.
Yeah. Because I feel bad.
Yeah. I
for
felt
my
bad.
commentary. I spoke out of turn, so I'm going to suck a dick real quick. And we'll be back next week.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next week. And I guess that's that.
Also, just kidding, Dad. I'm not going to suck anybody's dick.
He's lying.
He's not listening. All right. We'll see you next week.
Pizza Bagels with Tony and Dave. Oh, Pizza Bagels. That's the name of this podcast. Pizza Bagels.
See you guys.
See you.